G'day gamers, Ranger Tony here with another episode of Season 3 of our playthrough of Pathfinder Kingmaker Beneath the Stolen Lands with our party of Kinetic Knights and Kineticists. We have all just gotten level 3, which means that Skye is now dual wielding because we took 2-weapon fighting, and Ash now has her 2nd level of Eldritch Scion, which will be the last level that we give her of Eldritch Scion. But importantly, it means, if we get rid of that shield, that she can now cast spells in her offhand and gets 2 attacks per round. So I'm glad I noticed that that shield was still there. And so we are going to just quickly sell that before we go anywhere. Deal done. Okay, let's head on down. So here we are on level 4. It's an ice level by the looks of it. Don't know what that's going to mean as far as our opponents. Ooh, this is in a interesting thing. That is either that there is another room directly next to this, or that there cannot be anything below this on the map, the way that colouring there looks. It's very odd. So the door is over here. Okay. Or maybe it's to do with the ice. It might be to do with the overlay of the ice as to why that looked so weird over there. Okay. So we have a trap. No sign of any enemies yet. Potential secret door over here. Maybe not. Chest right there. Was that something? Did I just see? Yes, it was. A Nixie. Okay. That sounded like a mite as well. Can you get in position to throw a bolt? The Nixie's the only one who's going to be really a problem to begin with. But I don't actually expect her to be all that hard. Yes, I was correct. There was a mite back there. And a giant centipede. And a spitting one at that. You know, I think there's enough of us going down there towards the Nixie. Let's head Skye up towards these guys. Okay. Damn it. Reduced. Okay, so this is where you really, it proves that you really want to spread around the elements that you use. So on this level, Rhyme and Izana are basically useless. I'm still going to get Rhyme to get up in this girl's face. But his cold blade that he's got there is going to do essentially 0 damage. At higher levels, it might be able to overcome her damage resistance, but it's pretty doubtful. And unfortunately, that was a hit, but failed to overcome spell resistance. So, can you charge in from there? No, you can't. You do have an elemental ray. Can you use that? Well done. Only 1 point of damage. It's hardly worth worrying about. And unfortunately, a miss. Okay. Can you charge in, Skye? You cannot. Okay. So it doesn't matter who Izana attacks, because she's got cold damage, everything on this level is basically going to be a problem. Same with Rhyme. Now the way I get around this is I give them backup weapons. So at some point I'm going to get probably light maces and another shield, maybe even a smaller shield than the heavy shield. So a small shield or a buckler, just because it weighs less. And that's going to be a weapon set that they're able to switch to when they're in a situation where their element is useless. And for my kineticists, like Joven here, giving them a crossbow or something like that as a complete backup. They're not going to be... I mean, they've got high enough dex that they can be okay with it. They've already got point-blank shot and precise shot, so they don't have any issues with attacking into combat. Why can I not get any closer than that? Thank you. Oh, probably because it was deselecting Ash. Okay. So yeah, that's my strategy for this party, is giving them a set of backup weapons, which, as you know, is not something that I normally do. Because I normally say, well, you know, I don't need them. If I've got a party of archers, for example, I don't really need backup weapons. But there are times like this where their element might not be useful, but we need something, because otherwise they're just standing here throwing blasts or swinging blades that are just not doing anything and not ever going to be able to do anything. Whoops, hang on. Oh, good, you are doing that. It didn't look like you were. Okay, so yes, you are doing that. You're triggering the trap and half killing the party. That's good. Thank you very much for that. Ooh, some interesting bows. Pity I can't use any of them. Composite longbow +1 and a masterwork shortbow. If only they were crossbows. Even just one of them, so that I could give a crossbow to Izana so that she didn't have nothing to do on this level. I mean, in this case, it's not so bad, because being a water elementalist like she is, she can do kinetic healing. So I can have her run around and heal people as needed, you know, at the cost of burn. And it's very annoying that you can't offset that burn by gathering power. But it is still something that she could do in place of her normal attacks. But at the moment, there's really nothing, and it's too late for me to give a weapon to Rhyme. Yeah. Oh, what lovely pathing you have there. No. Oops. Oh. Turn that off. Turn that off. There we go. Oh, of course, that's Cold Blast. That's not going to do anything. And you're not going to be able to do anything with that either. Very nice. End of her move. Oh, there's another mite coming in. There was another mite coming in. Yeah. Should have tried to get one of these guys to charge, but unfortunately, charging doesn't tend to work around the little corners like that. So, okay, for right now, even though it's pretty useless, none of these are masterwork or anything, I'm going to give him that as a backup. But ideally I want something that A, does a little bit more damage. and B, eventually I can use a shield with, or I have a shield to use with. But probably not a heavy shield because that weighs a little bit more than I want to worry about at this point. Considering this party is going to be rather weighed down in general with the depleted carrying capacity that the wee folk have. Ooh, a leopard and some mites. Oh, it is a leopard that can do cones of cold. How bizarre. Oh, God, that's just ridiculous pathing. Oh, that is just so annoying. Yeah, nothing. Well, I mean, if I had have turned on the sickening entanglement, right, we could have used that to entangle, but I didn't want to do that at this point. Brina, you're better off just firing. There we go. Why am I not concentrating on the leopard? There we go. Oh, I have to give her different armor. She's going to... Yes. Got to remember to do that after this. She almost failed that spell due to... It was lost due to arcane spell failure. That's what that little jink noise was. She can't wear anything heavier than light armor and still reliably cast her spells, so I've got to remember to change that. There we go. I may not be able to do that anything about that right now. Oh, I've got that armor there. No, none of that's all that good. So let's swap that and put that ring on. Okay, that's going to get rid of that, but eventually we're going to switch that up for chain. Is that armor going to be better? Yes, it is. Believe me, it is. I'm not going to move the thing right now. For now, I'm just going to do this. It's a little bit annoying. These guys, yeah, they still can't use those weapons. Yeah, that's fine. I was just checking because I had a feeling that the weapons that were allowed to a Kineticist might have been different to a Kinetic Knight's. Flat-footed and flanked. Yeah. Give you that. Why not? Ooh, let's raid the treasure room first. Come on, someone please unlock it. Damn it, no! That's not fair. That's not fair. I call shenanigans on that. Okay, there's the exit there. We're going to rest here because these guys really need it. Actually, what I'm going to do here's the thing, right? If you rest, there's only a limited amount of natural healing that you can do. But I have the ability to do kinetic healing, and while it will give me burn, I can recover that burn just by simply resting. So it makes sense for me to do this, and it appears that your characters don't use the kinetic healing ability to recover health when you rest like they would use regular healing spells. This is something I've picked up playing the main campaign. And so if I get the chance, I will try and do that, where I can do a whole bunch of healing on my characters before I rest. Because I've found that in the main campaign, sometimes I'll rest and my characters will only be at half health after resting, because they didn't have any spells that they could use to rest. Well, they had Lindsay in the party, but it was still a low level, and she only had a couple of cure light wounds per day, and that just wasn't enough. So Ryan's not going to be much good here either. He's just charging in with his dagger at the moment, but he's still got a shield, so that's good. We're trying to get these guys to take on the Nixie and see if we can get her out of the way before she does too much of a problem. Actually, it's normally not that. It's sometimes she starts throwing fear and things like that around, and that's what I'm trying to mitigate at the moment by taking her out early. Because there's nothing worse than fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. Yes, I am proving my geek creds by reciting the litany of fear from Dune. I do know all of it, but I'm not going to inflict it upon you. Okay, so the pathing is all screwed up, and we have to walk through the gap walk through the hinge of the door to get into the room properly. Oh joy. Yep, you're going to have to do it as well, which means you're not going to be able to get into position to attack either. Gotta love when that screws up like that. I had a room the other day I just couldn't get into. Okay, yeah, that was on camera, I think, yeah. Good night, Nixie. And I got my 2 attacks per round, because that was a very big 5-foot step, but I'm not complaining in the slightest. Well done, and then... Oh, of course, that's not going to do much good. Someone give me a crossbow. Or just not miss with a firebolt. I mean, that's just ridiculous. There we go. I was going to say, I thought there was a body, at least one body out of that, and there was, but it just was hard to see. Doesn't look like there's going to be any secret doors anywhere here. Let's just double check that there's no hidden chests amongst all of this stuff. Doesn't look like it, but... pays to be thorough. Trap. Called it. Ooh. Snow in the next room. Ferocious wolf. Okay, so... Before I got to say that, what my plan was going to be was that if I got to move first, my 3 kinetic knights were going to blockade the door and just make sure that nothing could get back here to any of my kineticists. It looks like that's not going to be a major issue because I'm going to be able to move... You're not going to be able to do anything. I'm going to be able to move my guys forward enough that they can block. Very good. It was like, yeah. I don't think there was really too much of a hassle, too much of a problem with potentially someone sneaking into the back line, but it's just my strategy. Block off the doorway with your melee characters so that people can't get through to the archers in back. Okay. Now, it's always a toss-up here which thing to do, and I actually got to wonder whether... Yeah, no, he missed. Whether to get up or whether to stay down. Like I will often skip my turn if my character is down because getting up invokes attack of opportunity. And that is often, the worst thing you can do in that case. Just being very careful to make sure that I select the wolf there because he's the one that I want gone. You'll notice that Ash got his 2 attacks that round, even though the first one missed. Okay, so we've only got that might in the background now. So let's charge in if we can. And we can. And we're down. Beautiful. While we did lose a little bit of health there. What's that? A wand of blur. Potions are just a backup, really. And I've actually wasted those potions because I could have just rested. So, yeah, colour me stupid. I will come back and rest there after I have looted. And look at that. That's what I wanted. A light crossbow, a +1, which you are now going to equip. And this is probably the last room on the level, so there's not going to be any more opponents. And then, of course, we probably... Oh, no, it's not the last room. That's good. We may not come across any more opponents, though, but also, if we come across another room, it's no guarantee that it's going to be an ice room from now on, and so I really need to have crossbows of some sort for all of my kineticists. And was there better options there as far as... No, there wasn't. They're all just normal daggers. It's a short spear. I mean, that does do technically more damage than the dagger. So I might as well take it for now. But normally when I'm doing this with my other playthroughs that I've experimented with, I'll use a light mace there because it's finessable, which this isn't. Right? So that's actually... stupid. I should stick with the dagger. I use a light mace because it's finessable, and it also does a different type of damage. It does bludgeon, and I don't want to have too much damage that's all just piercing or whatever, so I want to spread it around a little bit. And yeah, there's like, even though this is likely to be the last room, it is the last room. There's not anybody here because this is... Come on, someone please open that, thank you. Because this is a pedestal room, as I call them. I don't know if there's an official name for them. Levels again. Did we all get them? Did we? Did we? Did we? Yep. Cool. Right, let's do this. That, and that. And we got a point which will go into Dex. What are the bonus feats we can get here? Bull Rush, Greater Bull Rush, Improved Blind Fight, and Greater Blind Fight. I don't know. That's actually interesting. I didn't even realize there was a Greater Blind Fight. It might be interesting to build a character around that one day. I think for now we're going to take Cold Adaptation, because we are a cold first, and then we'll take Heat Adaptation later. Sorry, Adaptation. I keep saying Adaptation when it's Adaptation. And the Shroud of Water and the these are actually really good, but you got to understand what the difference is. This creates a shield. So if I was to decide to throw away my shield and just have my kinetic blade, I could have that turned on always, and it would act as a shield for me, which actually makes that better to be used for one of these two characters. So in reality, if I was going to recreate this, having the kinetic swashbuckler or the kinetic magus as a water kinetic swashbuckler or water kinetic magus would be good, because they could use the Shroud of Water to create basically a floating shield. You never see it, but it is basically acting as, see, it either grants, if in this form it grants, it grants a +4 to armor class, which is what I could use here. Let's just see. My armor class is 25, 24, 12, which you can't see there. But if I now switch to this, it is still 25, 24, and 12, because my armor is good enough. But if I then use this ability here, I can spend 1 point of burn to make it even better. That's what that is used for. And the same with this shield. So if I get rid of my shield, so let's switch back to this, where I don't have a shield anymore, and I'll turn back on my kinetic blade. So my armor class, there we are. My armor class is now 23, 22, 12. If I click on this, it is now 25, 24, 12, and if I look at my armor class, it tells me that I have a shield bonus of +2 from my Shroud of Water. But if I move this shield over, it stays as 25 because I've still got that turned on, but if I turn that off, I still have a 25 because I have a +2 from the heavy shield. So that is an ability which requires no burn and acts as a heavy shield +2, and you can buff it using, so if I turn that on, I've got this ability here that I can use to spend a burn. So 25, 24, 12, and if I want to spend a point of burn, it is now 26, 25, 12, and I think at higher levels you can click that multiple times or something, and it gives you even better AC. We'll turn that off now. That was a waste of a burn, but that's fine. Let me just make sure that this guy is, yes, he is set up the way I want him to be. Okay, so we've learned something there, that I should have kept Rhyme as, say, a fire kinetic knight, and then made either my swashbuckler or so either Sky or, I can't remember the other one's name, Ash, I think it is, made them a water kinetic knight, yes, so that they could take advantage of that. I am definitely going to take one of the bonus feats here because I don't like the Elemental Whisper. You just end up with a familiar, and I don't want a familiar. So we're going to take Dodge there. Why is this all getting moved around when I don't want it to be? That's fine. And we're back to taking levels of Kineticist for Ash. And we have to start bumping her dex because that's where she's more vulnerable than anything. We're going to add Fire's Fury here, just so she does a bit more fire damage. That's good. And this is our Fire Kineticist. We're also going to give her, we've already given her Fire's Fury, so we're going to take Heat Adaptation. And we're going to take Dodge there, and then here we're going to take Cold Adaptation. So she also has these abilities which we can turn on, so we really should just turn that one on all the time, and it acts as if she has a shield, even though she doesn't. And she doesn't have to do anything special. It's just always there. It doesn't cost any burn unless she wants it to, in which case it improves her shield by at least +1. And we're all good. Let's sell up. And let's just actually see. So what I want to do is, I think, 1 light shield for you. So the only person at the moment who needs a backup weapon out of the Kinetic Knights is Rhyme, because he... Sky and Ash... Sky has a dagger as her backup weapon, and Ash has her spells as her backup weapon. These guys all need bows of some sort, so I'm going to buy just a light shield as the backup shield for Rhyme, and then I'm going to sell that dagger and look for a... What am I looking for? Was there any... No, there wasn't anything magical. Oh, this is all the stuff with magical. So, light mace +1. Let's grab that. And then, how much money have we got left? 15 grand. We've got plenty. Is there any heavy crossbow +1? There is. There's actually enough that if I sell that, I can get 3 heavy crossbow +1s. And there we go. So we are going to have a backup. Why can I not pick that up? Backup light mace, and that for you. Eventually we may look at a better dagger there for you as a backup. You've got spells as a backup, and then each of these guys will have a crossbow as a backup weapon. So if their elements aren't working, we can switch them out because they're being nullified or whatever. We can switch them out and we're all good. So that is a great place to leave this episode. I actually probably ran a little bit long with my explanations of a few things, but I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please give me a like and share it with your friends. Be sure to subscribe to keep up to date with all the latest episodes, and I will see you for the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye.